On this episode of Sandlot Sports, we do our annual Sandlot Sports League of Integrity March Madness bracket. Guaranteed to be wrong, but if you're betting, please bet against us. You'll probably make more money. Then we get into the second week of NFL free agency, some of the smaller moves, some of the stupider moves, like Kenny Pickett just being an idiot. So we hope you're enjoying. And if you like what we're doing, don't forget to like and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or on YouTube now. Please leave us a comment. Get with us. Tell us how crazy we are. We'd love to hear from you. Welcome to the Number One Sports Podcast in Sanford, Florida. This is Sandlot Sports. I am Adam Capison. I'm here with Dorian Cody.
What's up? What's up?
And BJ Thomas.
We still have just enough football to talk about for me to actually speak.
Before we get to free agency, week 2 electric Boogaloo, I figured we'd start with the March Madness, which technically starts today. I don't know if you guys count the opening round, the first round, whatever the fuck they are called, games, but they actually started today. But I figured we could not do a sports show, especially one that has done brackets with like Best TV Dad, and not do a college basketball bracket. It just didn't seem right. So I figured we would have some fun with it. We'll go with it. It's probably going to be a complete total flop of a gimmick, but you know what? Bear with me. I'm going on like 2 hours of sleep, so just bear with me. So
one thing that I've noticed already before we even get started, that if we have 64 teams, but we have to have a 4-team playing tournament, they will never be happy with the 16-team football tournament.
No.
Nope.
It is never going to be happy. It's just not until everybody participates, because they're all a bunch of whiny bitches. I'm not excited. I don't know why there's a first four for this 64-team tournament.
Well, and realistically, so it was 64 teams because it was 31 conferences and 33 33 like qualifiers. Cool. Okay. Well, then more conferences got added. So they just said, well, just expand the tournament. I'm like, well, wait a second. No, more conferences get added. They get automatic qualifiers. You eliminate the number of wild card teams or bubble teams, whatever you want to call them. Like this is not the boomer society. We don't give away participation trophies.
Well, you win or you in.
Yep. And I am 100% for football going, you win your conference, you're in. You don't win your conference, too bad. Should have won your conference.
Right.
So I figured we kind of do this by round. We'll have one guy do his round, then kind of so on and so forth. Because it's just a hell of a lot less bouncing back and forth. So I will start with Mr. Cody. So this is what I was doing all day. I was making a colorful bracket charts. Dorian, we'll start with you. UConn and Stetson.
I mean, first off, shout out to Stetson.
Down the street.
Local, yeah, right up the road there. However, your Cinderella ends here. I'm going UConn.
Last year's Cinderella story, Florida Atlantic versus Northwestern.
Florida Atlantic. I like what I saw. I'm going with Florida Atlantic. I saw them over the weekend.
Okay. San Diego State versus UAB.
I'll go San Diego State.
Auburn versus Yale.
Oh, no question, Auburn. Auburn is legit.
BYU and Duquesne. It is not Duquesne. It is Duquesne.
BYU. They got some good 3-point shooters.
Illinois versus Morehead State.
Illinois.
Washington State versus Drake.
Will this be the stunner? Drake got some good 3-point shooters, man. But I can see Washington State edging out Washington State.
And finishing up with Iowa State and South Dakota State.
Iowa State.
Okay. So I have North Carolina versus, it's actually Wagner. Wagner won today. So I don't know if it matters, but just putting it out there.
Carolina.
Mississippi State versus Michigan State.
I'm going Michigan State.
St. Mary's versus Grand Canyon State. The for-profit school, Grand Canyon State.
Don't know much about Grand Canyon State, but St. Mary's is one of those spicy teams. I'm going for St. Mary's.
Alabama versus Charleston.
Roll Tide, Bama.
Clemson versus New Mexico.
We're gonna go with Clemson.
Baylor versus Colgate.
Baylor.
Dayton versus Nevada.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say Nevada.
And probably the story of the tournament, Long Beach State versus Arizona.
I'm gonna go Wildcats, Zona.
Okay. Houston versus Longwood, not the city Longwood here by Stanford, but some school. I don't even know where they're at.
Houston, by a long shot.
Nebraska and Texas A&M.
I like Texas A&M.
Wisconsin, James Madison.
Wisconsin.
Duke and Vermont.
Duke.
Texas Tech and NC State.
NC State played tough. Should I go NC State? NC State.
Kentucky versus Oakland.
Kentucky.
Florida versus the winner of Boise State and Colorado.
Go with the home team, Florida.
Marquette versus Western Kentucky.
We'll go with Marquette.
Okay, one more and then we'll get to PJ. Purdue versus the winner of Montana State and Grambling.
Purdue.
Utah State versus TCU.
Utah State.
Gonzaga versus McNeese State.
Zags, baby.
Kansas versus Samford.
Kansas.
South Carolina versus Oregon.
I'm gonna go Oregon.
Creighton versus Akron.
Creighton.
Texas versus the winner of the game that's going on right now, Virginia and Colorado State.
Texas. Texas got me.
In Tennessee versus the Peacocks of St. Peter's.
So, Tennessee.
Okay. BJ, we'll go to you next.
Got a Christmas tree?
Sure. This was like a test when we were in school. Go for it.
Oh no, I actually tried on those because they mattered. But probably UConn over Stetson, FAU over Northwestern. I would say San Diego State over UAB, Auburn over Yale. I don't see Duquesne beating BYU, so I'll go BYU, Illinois. Shocker, Drake over Iowa or Washington State. That's what I'm going with, and Iowa State over South Dakota State. Then we're gonna go North Carolina, Michigan State, St. Mary's, Charleston over Alabama,
Ooh.
Clemson, Baylor. I'm gonna agree with Dorian and go Nevada and Arizona. Then we'll go Houston, Texas A&M over Nebraska, Washington, Duke over Vermont, Texas Tech over NC State, Kentucky over Oakland, Florida over any one of those teams, Western Kentucky over Marquette.
Oh.
We're gonna go. That's my upset special right there. Don't bet on it because I don't want to be responsible for your bullshit. Purdue over whoever, TCU over Utah State, Gonzaga over McNeese, Kansas over Samford, North Carolina over Oregon,
South Carolina.
Excuse me, Creighton over Akron, Texas over either one of those guys, and Tennessee over St. Peter's.
So I'm going to go UConn, FAU, UAB, Auburn, BYU, Illinois, Drake, and Iowa State. North Carolina, Michigan State, St. Mary's, Alabama, New Mexico, Baylor, Dayton, Arizona, Houston, A&M, James Madison, Duke, NC State, Kentucky, Florida, Marquette. And then Purdue, I'm going to go Texas Christian over the Mormons of Utah State, Gonzaga over McNeese, Kansas, Oregon, Creighton, Texas, and Tennessee. Okay, back to Dorian. UConn versus FAU.
I'll say UConn.
San Diego State and Auburn.
I'm going Auburn. I like Auburn. Now this was a tough one.
BYU, Illinois, just for those that aren't following at home.
I'm going to say BYU.
Washington State, Iowa State.
Iowa State.
North Carolina and Michigan State.
Tom Izzo was tough, and I'll go North Carolina. It's gonna be close.
St. Mary's and Alabama.
St. Mary's hit those threes, those cuts. St. Mary's upset.
Clemson and Baylor.
Baylor.
Nevada and Arizona.
Arizona.
Okay, Houston versus Texas A&M.
Houston.
Wisconsin and Duke.
Duke win this one. It'll be close. Duke.
Kentucky and NC State.
Kentucky.
Marquette and Florida.
I'm going with Florida. Home team.
Okay. Purdue and Utah State.
Oh, Purdue.
Gonzaga and Kansas.
Ooh. Kansas. It'll be close. Like Bill Self. No.
Oregon over Creighton.
Creighton got some.
Texas and Tennessee. Great football game. Don't know about the basketball.
Tennessee at edge. It'll be close.
Okay. BJ, you going rapid fire again?
Oh yeah, that's the only way to do it. UConn, Auburn, go BYU over Illinois, and Iowa State over Drake. North Carolina over Michigan State, St. Mary's over Charleston, Clemson over Baylor, and Arizona over Nevada. We will go Houston over Texas A&M, Duke over Wisconsin, excuse me. And Kentucky over Texas Tech, Florida over Western Kentucky. That's going to be a fun bracket. Purdue over TCU, Gonzaga over Kansas, South Carolina over Creighton, and Texas over Tennessee.
Okay, zip over to mine. I've got UConn over FAU, Auburn over UAB, Illinois over BYU, and Iowa State over Drake. I look at the calendar. It is March, and I believe the calendar goes January, February, Izzo. So I'm going Michigan State over North Carolina, Alabama over St. Mary's, Baylor over New Mexico, Arizona over Dayton, Houston over Texas A&M, Duke over James Madison, Kentucky over NC State, and Marquette over Florida, Purdue over TCU, Kansas over Gonzaga, Creighton over Oregon, and Texas over Tennessee. Okay, Dorian, you're up. UConn versus Auburn.
I want to say Auburn. I was going to pull the upset.
Okay, BYU and Iowa State.
Iowa State.
North Carolina and St. Mary's.
North Carolina.
Baylor and Arizona.
Arizona.
Duke and Houston.
Oh, Houston. They're athletic.
Kentucky and Florida.
Damn.
This is basketball, not football. Not sure the outcome would be any different.
I'm picking Kentucky. Yeah.
Purdue and Kansas.
I'm going to say Purdue.
Creighton and Tennessee.
Let's go Creighton.
Okay. BJ, you're up.
UConn over Auburn. I'm going to go BYU over Iowa State. North Carolina over St. Mary's. Arizona over Clemson. Duke over Houston. Kentucky over Florida. Gonzaga over Purdue. And Texas over South Carolina.
Okay. I've got UConn over Auburn, Illinois over Illinois State. I'm sorry, Illinois over Iowa State. Michigan State over Alabama. Arizona over Baylor. Houston over Duke. Kentucky over Marquette. Kansas over Purdue. And Texas over Creighton. Okay. Dorian, starting off with Auburn versus Iowa State.
Auburn.
Okay. North Carolina, Arizona.
I'm going to go ahead and pick North Carolina.
Houston, Kentucky.
I'm going to say Houston.
Purdue and Creighton.
Purdue.
With that 7'5" Chinese dude back there.
He's Canadian.
Okay, BJ, you're up. UConn over with BYU.
UConn. North Carolina over Arizona. I'm going to say Duke over Kentucky in a classic matchup. And just like it's Izzo's month, it's Gonzaga's month too. So I'm going Gonzaga.
Hey, look, if we can get a Kentucky Duke game like we got, was it 30-something years ago? I'm good with that.
That'll work.
Okay, I've got UConn over Illinois, Arizona over Michigan State, Houston over Kentucky, and Kansas over Texas. Okay, Dorian, your final four, and then your pick, your champion. You got Auburn versus North Carolina and Houston versus Purdue.
I believe North Carolina is going to be Auburn, and I actually believe that Houston is going to beat Purdue. They're going to get Zach in foul trouble. They're sending foul trouble.
Okay, so battle of number 1 seeds got North Carolina versus Houston. North Carolina can score. Houston doesn't let anyone score, and they make people wish they hadn't played basketball.
I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say Houston.
Okay. BJ, your final four is UConn, North Carolina, Duke, and Gonzaga.
I'm going to say UConn over North Carolina and Duke over Gonzaga. Blue Bloods championship.
Okay. And then UConn versus Duke for the championship.
UConn.
I've got UConn versus Arizona, Houston versus Kansas. I've got UConn over Arizona, Kansas over Houston, and then UConn coming out. So, like I said, I think we're contractually obligated because we're a sports podcast to do a bracket like that. But I did want to kind of mention that the numbers came out that this year they're estimating $2.8 billion will be bet on this.
And that's why all that will be wrong.
Exactly.
So it's a fun time. I always like kind of just watching with the 4 boxes. I remember growing up, like you could only get the 1 game, but now they have it like the NFL where they have 4 different games going on at once. It's fun to watch. Not so much fun if you're betting, if you're cheering with your wallet, because it gets very stressful very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Usually by the first hour of the first round, you're like, shit.
God damn it.
Yeah. So what's worse, March Madness or fantasy football? We have money on the line.
March Madness happens so fast.
Yes.
Gotcha.
It's like, few days and we're in the last 8 teams.
Well,
You know, it's just
yeah.
it happens so quick.
because like after this weekend, you're already in the Sweet 16.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just it happens so quick. So like
Yeah.
fantasy football can be long and drawn out.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example. I lost Justin Jefferson last year. What, week 4?
Something
Was it
like
week
that.
4? Something like that. And I mean, I was behind the 8 ball for the rest of the season until he came back. This is in the second league that I wound up winning, believe it or not. I don't know how. Don't ever ask. I spent $73 on a $200 budget auction league on Justin Jefferson and won that league somehow. Don't know. But it's so drawn out. Everything happens so slowly. It's kind of like being drawn and quartered.
Mhm.
Whereas the NCAA tournament is like the firing squad. It'll be over. You'll be on the other side of it, and you continue on with your life. For fantasy football is like 17 weeks of like Braveheart happening to you.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? So, the tournament in the tournament's odds are so like every team has a legitimate shot at the fantasy football championship. An injury could happen to the number 1 or 2 team.
True.
An injury, you know, you could pick somebody up off the waiver wire who winds up being a world beater.
Yeah.
You're not likely to win the NCAA tournament. You're not likely to win the bracket challenge. You might win amongst your friends, but you're not going to get them all right.
No.
Right. But let's say, like, for example, let's say BJ, let's say for instance, the Cowboys are a game away from winning the NFC East, right? But they're playing against, let's say they're playing against Baltimore, and you have Derrick Henry as your starting running back. And you know, hey, Derrick Henry, all he needs like a couple of points, and then you're pretty much like the winner of the fucking whole league. So,
Jerry Jones does not pay BJ's bills. So go ahead, Derek, do your thing.
Well, see, the thing with that is, so you could be going into the championship game for fantasy football down by 16 points. Have Derrick Henry, it'll be a Monday night game. You'll have Derrick Henry is your only player. The other guy's done going against your favorite team. Here's the cool thing about that. 2 things can happen. Derrick Henry can go off, and your offense can go off.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, but
when the red goes through your number 2 seed that you had going to the Final Four, you fucked.
the only thing that bugs me is like in fantasy football, a player could sit out for half a quarter because he had to go change himself and like fuck your whole season.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, just go from you being in the playoffs if he gets 10 more yards to like you sharted and you had to go change. So now I lost a half a quarter. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. I love fantasy football though. Absolutely love it. It's a blast. And what's crazy about fantasy football is if you're a fantasy football fan, it's like being a Yankees or Cowboys fan. Either people like fantasy football or they hate that shit. There's no in between. There's nobody's lukewarm on fantasy football.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe you do that. Well, I can't believe you're alive. Shut the fuck up. Go watch your reality TV, you chump. Yeah, it's just one of my friends a long time ago had put it a good way. He's like, sports are soap operas for men. Only this shit only this shit really happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
It's happening.
I remember somebody was making fun of me one time. It was like, all you do is watch sports. Yeah, all you do is watch reality TV because that's compelling. Like, well, my stuff is actually reality. Yours is some augmented bullshit.
We don't know if ours is scripted. We know yours is scripted.
Right.
We're still wondering over here. We might be in a bit of denial, but we don't know for sure. We know for sure yours is 100% scripted.
Yeah. I don't act like I watch WWE and go, oh, this is legit.
Yeah. Thankfully, the secret's out on that. But those dating things like The Bachelor and all that shit, that's all rigged.
Oh yes,
it's all rigged for the most shock and value, internet potential, all that stuff. Anything they can to get views, likes, clicks.
I will say this. So my current wife does it, but my ex-wife used to watch The Bachelor and Bachelorette like religiously. Okay, I couldn't have cared less, except for when it was The Bachelor and it was like the final three, and they had the overnight date. He had it for all three women. You could see the look on on their faces when they would sleep with the guy, and he'd be like, I'm going with her.
It's a little mushy in there. I gotta go. And by the way, you're a brave man to speak about the wife and the ex-wife in the same sentence.
Keeping it real.
Real lonely on that couch.
Hey, I said that I tell her what we talk about. I don't talk about everything we talk about.
Nuts are going to be real lonely separated from your body.
But no,
that was brave.
But yeah, the tournament should be fun. Like I said, it's actually going on right now. Howard won the first game. I think Virginia is not winning. They're down by 13, and the way that they score down by 13, that's a death sentence. But there's always going to be upsets. I think they said there's at least 8 upsets, and that's 5 seed difference every year in the first round. There has not been a mid-major since UNLV. Yeah, to win the title.
It's a long time.
So going back to BJ's thing, hey, you play fantasy football, you've got a good chance of possibly making it. Look, Colorado State, even if they win tonight, they ain't winning the title
at all.
No.
Are there any star players to look out for?
Zach Edey from Purdue, like I said, I mean, I joked he's like 7'3" and built like Yao Ming. Playing college. Some of the guys from UConn, I don't know their names, but I know they're studs. Houston, I'm sure has some good players. Their defense is just nasty. I think they're allowing like 55 points a game.
Yeah. They remind me of that. What is that? 40 Minutes of Hell defense that Arkansas played in the 90s.
Well, Arkansas wasn't just their 40 Minutes of Hell defense; it was 40 Minutes of Hell offense.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy how like a college, like how individuals be in college, they're like, for instance, Corliss Williamson on that Arkansas team, he was like the man. Got to the NBA, he was a role player. Maybe averaged 10 points a game.
John Wallace.
Yeah.
Carried a team on his back to the championship game.
Shut your fucking mouth.
I knew it was coming.
Speak about John Wallace in that tone.
But John Wallace had what? I think that one season in New York where he was like a 13-point person coming off the bench.
You shut your mouth too.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to give John Wallace some props because I actually like John Wallace.
He was literally the only reason they went where they went that year.
Yeah, like I said, he carried that team to the championship, and had he not found out against Kentucky, that game probably would have gone to overtime. Now, Dorian, you're thinking of the one season he had in Toronto where he averaged 14 points a game.
Oh, okay. It was Toronto.
Out of his career, 7.6 points per game.
All right.
I wonder, because of his shooting ability, how he would have played out in this NBA.
As a stretch 4?
Yeah, he's a decent shooter for a big man.
Yeah.
So that would have been interesting had he been in a different time and place. But now I don't know if he would have been a good enough shooter.
That's fair.
He may have been kind of a no man's land type situation. But he was that was an amazing run. I'm trying to think of who he hit that shot against. Was it Kentucky? No, Texas A&M, something like that.
Who else was on his team? Is that the team when they had
Lawrence Moten, I believe?
Yeah, Lawrence Moten. I remember him. I liked him. He was like what, 6'5"? 6'5"?
I don't know. He's a walking bucket.
Yeah. It was somebody else on that team too. Was Todd Bergen on that team?
As a freshman, if he was.
Todd Bergen was number 30, I believe, right?
Yeah.
for Syracuse.
Todd was a heck of a player too.
Yeah.
Syracuse. Oh, it was against Georgia in 1996.
Oh,
So when they
in
played
overtime.
Yep. 2.8 seconds left. I remember watching that game and losing my shit.
Yeah.
Losing my shit. Because, I mean, it was just. I mean, Syracuse was the little engine that could for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's why I had such a fun time watching them, is because they played a defense that was kind of becoming obscure. They didn't always have like number one recruits. You know, Boeheim was always making something. I don't want to say out of nothing, but of lesser ingredients, I guess would be
Yep.
a fair statement. And I mean, that's why it was always so fun to watch those teams, especially when they play UConn or Georgetown and beat them. It's like, yeah, you guys got all these recruits. How'd that feel, bitch? Like,
Yeah.
Boeheim and John Beeline.
Mhm.
yeah,
Talk about making a gourmet meal with mid ingredients.
Yeah.
Cameron Pit Snuckle.
I mean, no.
you could shoot it though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you sure can.
Now, there's another one that had he played in today's NBA, would he have had a career?
Oh, Pittsnoggle?
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah. Yeah.
Donovan McNabb was on that team.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
As a point guard?
He's a freshman. Yeah, he's listed as a guard.
I'm trying to think. You know who I think who could have played in today's NBA too? Tim Thomas. Remember him from Villanova?
Yeah.
Probably.
He was like he was 6'11". He was pretty much a guard in a forward's body, and then he he had some good stints with mostly with Milwaukee.
And so I do want to mention our favorite college coach, Rick Pitino. Since he went on that rant a couple weeks ago, his team went on, I think it was like an 8 or 9 game winning streak. So apparently it does work with the new generation. So I do apologize.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and then he got all pissy because they didn't qualify for the participation
I
tournament.
mean, hookers work with the next generation.
I think that's a universal language.
But I say hookers work with all generations. What are we talking about here?
So he got all upset because like, well, we should have been on the tournament, so we're not going to go to the NIT. I'm like, dude, you lost to an 8-23 Michigan team. Shut up.
Yeah.
Damn, y'all was that trash?
Yes, that's why they fired Joel Howard.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah, there was a point where I think during the month of January where the Pistons actually had more wins than Michigan. So, but that is our college basketball segment for the day. So I'm trying to like bring BJ back into the show. So we'll talk about football now.
You're good. You feeling good? You know, you talk about
I made
Syracuse,
it.
so that's definitely.
I fucking made it. I made it.
So where do we want to? Do we want to start with Justin Fields or do we want to start with Kenny Pickett? Because both are funny.
Well, the Kenny Pickett thing will be irrelevant.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the Justin Fields thing is relevant.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's start there.
Well, I mean, how long till we see Justin Fields? You think Tomlin's got the ability to rein Russell back in and get him to where he's a productive member of the NFL?
I think if Pittsburgh starts out 2-6, you'll see Fields by week 7. If
Yeah.
they start out 4-2, then Fields will ride the bench. But you figure like Pittsburgh's paying $5 million this year for quarterback play. They can afford to figure it out.
Yeah.
We have to remember, though, also, like, Russell had no support last year.
No.
They wanted him out of there. Peyton didn't like him. So, I mean, I don't want to make too many excuses for him, but at the same time, like, Imagine you working every day for a boss that hates you, doesn't want you there, and is looking for every excuse to get you out of there legally.
Yeah, facts.
That would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's
For you guys, I would turn it into a fucking game. Like, who quits first? Who quits first? You punk. So, yeah, I've been making excuses for Russell for 2 years now. If he can't figure out in Pittsburgh with a very good head coach like Mike Tomlin, then I can't make any more excuses for him. Can't do it.
So it's going to come down to the offensive coordinator. I forget who they picked up because I know they fired Canada. Can they use Russell the way he can be used? Because I think he still has the arm talent. His problem in Denver was the fact that his offensive coordinator, we called it at the time.
No. He left Seattle because he didn't want to be Russell Wilson anymore.
Well,
he wanted to be a pocket passer. So you can put it on the offensive coordinator if you feel like it, but that he wants to be a pocket passer.
Drew Brees was a pocket passer.
Did he? Well, that's different. Drew Brees has always been a pocket passer. Russell Wilson has always created. So here's the deal. Has Russell realized that it's not working? I have to go back to doing what works for me. That's the question.
I don't know, because that takes a whole level of self-actualization that I don't know he has.
I'm pretty sure Mike Tomlin had a conversation when they were like, "Hey, we want cooking Russ. We don't want the Russ to drop back."
Are you talking that Mr. Unlimited doesn't self-realize? He doesn't understand?
I want to hear the story of the first time that he goes dancing down the aisle of the team plane and Tomlin puts him on his ass. That's what I want to hear.
He'd just be shaking his head. He'd be shaking his head. Like this idiot here.
But with Pittsburgh picking up Patrick Queen, do you think that sends a message to the AFC North?
Hey guys, we can stay relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, that division is solid. I think Cincinnati was the only team that didn't make the playoffs, and that's because Burrow got hurt. So it wasn't like Pittsburgh was just some trash team. They were 10-7 last year, and had they not started Trubisky, they may have finished 12-5 because Trubisky is the anti-talent. Why Buffalo brought him back, I do not know.
Yeah, you'll never explain that to me. Not without me laughing at you, anyways.
You can try to explain it. It ain't going to be right.
You can say words. You can say words about it. That's for sure.
Speaking of words, I'm going to use the words of Desmond Ritter to Arizona.
What? For what?
Crazy.
So
I would be bubble wrapping Kyler Murray, making sure he didn't trip on anything. That's the alternative. That's what happens if Kyler Murray gets hurt. Shit. Danger.
Like we talked about union exit strategy. That's not a good one.
I just feel like some coaches overestimate their coaching ability.
Most coaches.
They aren't realistic. They aren't like, look, this guy's not fixable. Of course, Mike Tomlin probably would disagree with me saying that, but that's fine, Mike. You can disagree. But I don't know about that guy.
So, but I'm going to say this, that there were 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round of the 2021 draft. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones.
All backups.
Mine is hanging on by a thread a little bit.
A thread. Like a tampon string. Same width, same length.
Well, I will say this. What is going to save Trevor Lawrence's starting job It's the fact that they have Mac Jones as his backup.
Yeah.
Anybody's willing to trade for Mac Jones thinks there's something there. That's a different level of Delulu.
It's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. It's pretty fucking bad.
Are you going to go to London to watch the Jaguars play one day?
I mean, it'd be a good trip, but I wouldn't bet on
Send him to fucking Poland at this rate.
it.
Most of France is unoccupied. Just send them out there. No one's going to watch anyway.
Mm.
You know, and hey, you know, go ahead.
Was occupied till we showed up. If there's anybody listening overseas, eat that shit talking about not having free healthcare. The reason we don't have free healthcare is so you don't have to speak German.
So
I'm
now,
going to hell.
Trevor Lawrence could be throwing to Calvin Ridley. Oh wait, no, he can't.
Got Gabe Davis instead.
That's an upgrade.
No, I mean we lost Calvin. Really, I mean we weren't willing to pay him what Tennessee was paying. But I like Gabe Davis. We'll see how it goes.
That's the one thing we will do is see how it goes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
that is a biting analysis that we have here at Sandlot Sports.
The only thing we're sure about is we will see how it goes. Shit.
I do like that pickup that the Jets did with Mike Williams, though.
Why? So he can just sit down for 7-8 games a year in a different city? It's basically like the Bears and Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
You know what? You sent him to Chicago. Do you know what happens to cardboard when it gets wet?
Yeah, I thought it was so funny that some of our Bear fans listeners are so excited. It's like, we're going to keep Fields, we're going to keep Eberflus, and me as a Lions fan going, go for it.
Keep him, I dare you.
So now we have not talked about Dallas's defense.
Why? What's there to talk about? Are people retiring? Nobody's resigned? Who cares?
Like, does Jerry's wallet have dust in it? Because they haven't signed a free agent that I know of.
It's called being 80-something years old and still doing cocaine. That's what it's called.
Okay, well, as long as we're on the same page.
It's the only thing that makes sense. Cocaine.
I do want to say something though. Trayvon Diggs, if you ever listen to this podcast, do not go back and forth with Cameron. He will go all day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Bro, just let them talk their shit and just focus on the next NFL season, bro. Trayvon Diggs, if you're listening.
Cameron and Mace?
Talking
about Cameron and Mace?
Yeah. Because he's going back and forth with Cameron about the comment that Cameron made about him pretty much being a cleanup man. So
Dude, he's about to raise 2 babies. He's the new Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
He's gonna raise one of Future's babies. He's gonna raise who else? You got somebody else's
Wow's baby.
Bow Wow's baby. Man, that must have been like a Chihuahua screwing a Rottweiler. Climb up on top of that girl's Brazilian butt lift and try to have a baby. Jeez.
What was it? Tyreek Hill had 3 women pregnant during the course of the season?
And got married.
He got married.
Real G's move in silence like lasagna.
Shit, he had more babies than the Carolina Panthers had wins.
That's actually not hard to do. That's actually pretty easy for a guy to do. That's not a challenge.
Okay.
He's got money. All he's got to do
had more babies with more women than Carolina had wins.
He's got money. That's easy.
Okay, fair.
He's just got to walk around and talk to people and then have babies. That's how that works for him. Let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
It's not an accomplishment. It's more something to be sad about.
So now that we're kind of in the mid-tier signings, kind of just filling out rosters, I know we asked this question last week, and I'll ask it again this week. So, who has won the off-season pre-draft?
Still the Texans. There's nothing happened last week for me to change my opinion on that.
Yeah.
Unless somebody signed Jesus, they win.
Like, see, your shot had Jesus' shirt on, so I guess that counts.
Yeah.
What's
Now,
that?
I will say this: New Orleans picking up Chase Young to help out on the edge was pretty solid, I think.
Yeah, but they still have Derek Carr as the quarterback.
Yeah, I'm talking about their defense. I mean, their defense, because I know they lost. I forgot the guy. Like they lost somebody, but Chase Young on one end, and you got Cameron Jordan on the other end. Oof. I would not want to be playing against that defense. Those two right there. The only thing is with Chase Young is, I don't know. Shannon Sharp says that he take plays off.
Because he does, like he did in college.
So he said he'll be on the level of Joey Bosa if he didn't take plays off. But he said he take too many plays off for him. And then I saw the tape. I was like, you got a point.
Yeah. So in college, like if he knew he could beat the lineman, he'd beat him all day long, like a freaking drum. If it was close, he'd go half speed. Like you can constantly, it's like his senior year, I think he had like 11 or 12 sacks. 6 of them were in 2 games.
Yeah.
So I mean, it made him a bunch of money, but it shows like if he has to try hard, he's not what you want.
I was just wondering why he left. I'm curious to know why he left San Francisco.
The word is money.
Yeah, but I still thought that maybe, I thought they would be able to work some out where, him on one end, Bosa on the other end, but now they lost what? You got Eric Armstead and you lost Chase Young. So I'm trying to figure out who would they sign to be able to fill that void as far as another edge rusher. Because you lost 2 of them. You San Francisco.
My guess is they're probably going to try to rebuild in the draft because I don't know what their salary cap is right offhand.
Yeah.
And do we know if and when Greenlaw will be back? Will he play next season?
Well, I mean, he had an Achilles injury, and that's usually a year, so that's Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a guarantee that he will play at all next year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something to consider. The defense has taken a hit. And they have about $14 million in cap space. And that's after all the moves. Now, I had heard a rumor, and again, this is rumor season, that they were looking to move Adebo this season. So I will believe that when I see it, but that's a signal like, okay, we're giving up.
I can't believe how fast Chase Young got to San Francisco, though. That's just blowing my mind. Like, we're talking about was he a top 10 pick?
Yeah, he was a number 2 pick.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a huge investment. Got traded and then not re-signed in the same season.
Yeah.
And then put one of the worst, like, last lackadaisical plays in the playoffs on tape for the world to see. I don't know. That says a lot.
Well, again, that's just who he is.
You're just riding him because he's from Ohio State. Calm down over there.
I watched him play in college. It's what he did in college.
You're just riding him. Just put a saddle on him. That's what you're doing. You're just riding him. Rude.
I mean, he went.
So
go ahead.
No. Listen.
So I say, so like in 2021, between 21 and 22, he had a total of 1.5 sacks.
Damn. Supposed to be somebody.
So, Dorian, you were going to say something?
No, I was reading here that they were talking about the Niners, and the two people that they're eyeing in this draft is the wide receiver from Oregon, Troy Franklin, and Chop Robinson, the defensive end out of Penn State.
Everybody should be eyeing Chop Robinson.
Yeah.
I'm hoping people forget about him and he falls to Detroit, but I don't think that's going to happen.
He won't get past Dallas.
That's BJ putting out in the universe. Like, he better not get past Dallas.
I've heard it from a couple different places, reading it on the internet. I've read it a couple different places on the internet.
Yeah.
But put him on the other side of Micah Parsons. Look out, world.
Yeah. That'll be nasty.
Will be fun. Be a blast, actually. I'd be surprised if he falls that far. He'd have to kick a baby on tape to fall that far. In the temple.
What was the left tackle that smoked a bong on tape and fell like 5 picks?
All right, listen, you fucking listen, you fucking square. I said kick a baby in the temple, and you're like, well, look what happened to the guy that smoked some pot. What's the comparison? You genius, please.
The story was that it completely destroyed his draft stock.
Kick a baby in the temple. He should go to jail.
It's football. They don't care.
And then you said, look what happened to the guy that smokes a pot. God damn it, Adam.
But
I'm trying not to say bad words so much on this podcast anymore.
Realistically, unfortunately,
very hard for me.
Drugs are, according to the NFL, drugs are a worse offense than domestic violence.
So you tell me I can choke a bitch and I'll be okay. But if I smoke the doobie,
a whole bitch. A whole bitch. Choke a whole bitch.
Randy Gregory still has a job.
What did Randy do?
Besides throw his pregnant girlfriend down on a bed full of AK-47s?
We got Joe Mixon. We got Joe Mixon on tape. How you can bitch? We got Tyreek Hill, who allegedly beat his girlfriend up at the time. Out here, face of the league, one of the faces of the league. Like, come on. Come on. Give me a break. Shit, Calvin Ridley's got a job and he was betting on games.
So I'm just saying the NFL puts drug offenses higher than domestic violence. It shouldn't, but it does.
They got about as much discipline as I do in front of a plate of wings and cheesecake. I'm more likely to only eat 5 wings and have 1 bite of cheesecake than they are to actually do something about somebody.
Especially a star.
No, I want cheesecake.
Oh, some white chocolate raspberry cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory.
You don't have to go that far. I can go to Publix and get one of those pre-cut pieces out of the deli and be just fine. It doesn't have to be fancy cheesecake. Cheesecake is cheesecake. You can snort it all.
Okay, so what is the best dessert? Just we're gonna go down this path.
Fucking cheesecake. What are we talking about?
Dorian?
For me, I gotta say, I'm thinking Dutch apple pie with the caramel top.
That's good.
I'm trying to figure out how you think they even get dressed in the same locker room.
Hey, I'm all for some baked Alaska, some fried ice cream. It's good stuff.
Trying to kill yourself over there?
Yes.
Diabetes chiming in on the dessert conversation. Don't do that. Come on now.
Hey, my pump already goes off every so often, and people are like, "What the hell is that?" It's like, okay.
Sound like a lift station for water when he starts eating that baked Alaska. Jeez. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's some great desserts. Like, I have a problem with like out of the box brownies, like the Betty Crocker just brownie mix.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Well, my mom used to make them. She'd put them on the kitchen table, and the front door was on one side of the house, and my bedroom was on the other side of the kitchen. So I'd grab a brownie going into my bedroom and a brownie going out. Next thing you know, there's a half a tray of brownies gone. Like, damn,
Where'd they go?
where'd they go? Why did I just eat 2,300 calories of brownies?
Yeah.
And I believe that's conservative estimate.
Yeah. So I do love the story about the Betty Crocker brownies. So they used to be made completely done. All you had to do was literally put them in a pan, put them in the oven, and they were done. And then they didn't sell. What they realized is, like, if you just have people add a couple of ingredients, it's like they're actually cooking. They sell more.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
See, I'm actually doing something. I'm adding water to a mix. I can bake.
Look, sometimes things are just, they might come out of a box, but they did it right.
Yes.
Right.
And they did it right with Betty Crocker. And they did it right with Kraft macaroni and cheese. If you say any other macaroni and cheese that comes out of a box is better than the original Kraft macaroni and cheese, you're the fucking devil. If anybody tells you that Velveeta, where you can taste the aluminum in the sauce when you squeeze it out of that little aluminum packet, is better than Kraft macaroni powdered cheese, incorrect.
So, I remember when my wife and I were first dating, we went to a restaurant, and on the menu it had macaroni and cheese, and next to it they had the picture of the Kraft. And my wife, who is a trained chef, went, "That's an insult to the chef. You should not put Kraft on your menu for the mac and cheese." I'm like, damn right you should.
They just boosted sales.
Yeah.
Every 80s baby went, shit, let me get some of that macaroni and cheese. Unless I don't like the microwave ones.
No, the Easy Mac?
Easy Mac? No.
Not the same.
Yeah.
Thumbs
yeah,
down. I will tell you this, when our house burned down in 2007, a lot of our community came out and like gave us food and stuff just to get us back on our feet again. It was really nice. I was home one day cooking, and I took out the macaroni and cheese and started the process. I was like, hell yeah. All of a sudden, this dumpster-like smell engulfed the house. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
What did you do?
I pulled the box out of the trash. It expired 2.5 years before I started to eat it.
Oh,
I couldn't eat that shit for 5 years after that. Every time I even smelled it, I was just like, ugh. That was a sad day. Then one day I was recovered and I ate a box and it was delicious.
well,
I used to eat the whole box.
well, yeah.
Can't do that now. I'm fucking in my 40s. That's not intelligent to eat 1,000 calories worth of macaroni and cheese.
Well, you can. You just shouldn't.
Oh, it's definitely not intelligent. No, because what I'll do is I'll catch it on sale and it'll be like 5 boxes for whatever price, and then I'll eat 5 boxes every day for lunch in a row.
Yeah.
And I wonder why I can't shit.
When you do, you start breaking the toilet. It's like,
What's
God
wrong?
damn it.
What's wrong? Where'd that fucking paper towel roll come from? What's going on back there? It's like a baby's arm in the toilet.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, we are trying to get sponsorships.
Take one of those shits, be like, did that make me gay?
God. I thought it was the only one. What the fuck is wrong with me?
You said you thought
Not come out of me.
Did you say you thought you were the only one that thought that?
Look,
No, hey, bro.
hey, BJ, hey, bro, I'm with you. Any
Like twice
man-
a year.
Yeah. Any man that didn't take a major shit and that shit ain't like a fucking log, you be like, nigga, that shit came from my asshole, nigga. Like,
Yeah. No.
sorry, but
Ooh, he cracked. First time in 3 years, he cracked.
sorry.
No, I get it. That's what I think too. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, that shit is amazing. Like, it's
Why
crazy.
why is it reaching out of the water?
He just taking pictures of his accomplishments.
Hey, look, I love grossing people out. Like, my sense of humor is dark. I love grossing people out. I had a kidney stone 2 years ago and took that bitch to work.
Oh man.
I heard it go tink in the toilet. Like, what the fuck is that? I looked down there and I was like, oh, it's a kidney stone. So I had nitrile gloves at the house for cleaning. Went in there, grabbed it, rinsed it off in the sink, put it in a sandwich bag, and took it to work. I went there the next day, just handed it to my coworker. Check this out. He goes, "What's that?" I said, "My kidney stone." "That's disgusting." I was like, "Yes, it is. Yes, it is." I eased up on the soda. I got lucky it came out the way it did. I got lucky.
The caramel from the soda will fuck you up, especially in the heat.
I got lucky it came out the way it did. It could have lodged in there sideways or this way or that way, and it just went whoop, right out. Lucky ducky.
I mean, I don't quite know how to transition from big shits to sports, but we're talking about the Magic, so.
Well, as far as franchise go, that's like a paper towel roll shit of franchises.
Mm-hmm.
They just get lucky every so often and draft a player that they're going to wind up trading away because they don't feel like paying it.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for them to run Montero out of town. I'm waiting for the day. So, but they have officially clinched a non-losing season today.
He said clinched. I can always bring it back.
Yep.
That's nice. I want to cheer, but I just feel like they're going to fuck it up in the next few years anyway, so I get so excited. What am I supposed to get excited about? You've seen how the ownership of this team operates?
Just sell the team. Like, please, if anything, the boss says you're old, you've screwed up enough things, just sell this team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sell the Shaq. He won't lose. He doesn't want to lose.
No.
I think that's a great idea.
Yes.
He owes us anyways.
Yeah.
He robbed us of Penny Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal for most of a decade.
Well, in Mr. O'Neal, on behalf of the whole Central Florida area, we apologize for the stupidity of the other residents here. We do not associate with them
at all.
You know, I was thinking, we were having our poop conversation and you were talking about getting sponsored. I'm just thinking, like, if we don't get sponsored because the guy that goes over the sponsorship applications or, listens to who he's tying the company to, doesn't sponsor us for something that he has done.
That is hypocritical.
It's kind of shitty.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, come on. Some of the best way to see how the engine's run is to check the exhaust. So you just got to, when you get up, you just got to look back there and be like, whoa. And if you take a picture and send it to coworkers, that's even better. We have more in common than you think.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah, just to not get sponsored over a King Cobra coiler, that's a little ridiculous. Just my thoughts.
Yeah, just
thoughts. We're running out of football. We're running out of football, guys. It's gonna get dangerous. It's gonna get dangerous. If you can't handle it, you should check back in about mid-August.
Yep.
I don't know what to tell you.
So yeah.
Or you could help out and message us on Facebook and give us some talking points we could cover. That'd be helpful.
That'd be great.
That'd be real helpful.
Like, I mean, if you write us on Facebook, we'll read your comments on the air. Tell us we're effing stupid. We don't care. We know it.
Or we'll start conversations with your subject matter and see how long it takes us to get arrested.
So now we do have the NFL draft coming up. I believe it's next month, end of next month.
Folks, this is called a reach.
Yes, I'm trying. Really hard.
Trying to keep it sports related. Once we got to the toilet, Adam checked out.
Yeah, I went to the movies, had a shit ton of popcorn, so I'll wait for that to pass through.
Well, I mean, at least it's that corn, because that other stuff comes out like a machine gun. All right, we have to get off the shit. I can do this all night. I got shit jokes. I got shit jokes for days.
Yeah, get off the shitter.
Shitter, get off the pot.
There you go.
You guys seen the recent Mad Max, right? The one with Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy.
What, Fury Road or Furiosa?
I hate what Hollywood's doing so much with all these remakes. There's a rumor of a Tombstone remake coming out. I will lose my shit if they do that. Matthew McConaughey is going to be Doc Holliday.
No.
That's what I've heard. Is it true? I don't know. It came from the internet. It could be 40% horseshit. I don't know. But if they do that, I will never watch it. Tombstone and Goodfellas and Braveheart, you don't touch.
No.
Shit, even the Godfather.
Oh, they're gonna screw that up eventually.
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah.
Well, and see, what gets me about The Godfather is you can make gangster movies. Doesn't have to be The Godfather. You can make your own gangster movie and be completely fine. American Gangster was great. Had nothing to do with The Godfather.
The problem is they're running out of good stories.
Well,
A lot of these are based in truth.
Yeah.
And they're running out of the good stories, and they want to make their own mark. And people are so freaking unoriginal now.
well, and part of the problem is like they're not paying the writers to do shit. So the writers, I mean, so they're paying like lesser known talent for writing staff, giving them a horseshit deadline to do anything, and then wondering why it's garbage.
I'm just so sick of the remakes. I don't remember it being like this. Maybe it was, and it was just movies that we didn't know about. But like
That was a lot of it. It was a lot of the time. A lot of the remakes when we were growing up, they were remakes of movies we didn't know about, or they were remaking plays. Like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times a Shakespeare play was made into an adaptation movie.
well, that's fine because there wasn't a movie about that yet, so that's okay. We're
Oh,
talking about
how many
we're
different
talking about
movies?
we're talking about a movie being produced, and then Hollywood going like, I don't know what to do. We're just gonna do this again.
So I have an idea for a movie. We're gonna take Ghostbusters, and it's gonna be the same concept, but we're just gonna make all the Ghostbusters women. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, like well, I have not watched that yet. I refuse.
And like I want to be known, I have no concerns with you gender swapping different roles, but if that's the only thing that you're changing, you're not. It's not a good movie.
Well, that was a company line for you right there.
So you want to make Ariel black? Sure, go for it. Absolutely, don't care. You want to?
He's going to continue down he's going to continue right down this road. You're going to get all of Florida mad at you.
And
The mermaid's white. The mythical creature's white. Oh, excuse me. White.
Well, see, scientifically speaking, mermaids live at the bottom of the ocean where they wouldn't get a lot of sun. So the skin would be translucent. Like, I don't care. They're fictional characters. As Ben Affleck would say, fictional characters.
I couldn't believe it. Like, who cares? Who cares? Watch, they're going to piss everybody off and make Jessica Rabbit black next. Or make her
They're gonna
Asian.
piss people off and make James Bond black.
Oh, they actually they've casted the new James Bond. He is not black. So
Oh, what is he?
it's Aaron Taylor Thomas.
Oh, he's white. That guy's
Yeah,
white.
he's white.
That guy's Irish. That guy's so white.
Taylor Thomas. Where does he? What am I
he,
doing?
he was and
I mean, doesn't that sound like every white guy you know?
yes, it's not
Yeah,
not
Aaron
Jonathan
Taylor
Taylor Thomas. Aaron Taylor Thomas.
Aaron Taylor Thomas.
Just whatever. Just insert cracker here. There, now the show's even.
I'm sorry, Aaron Taylor Johnson, not Thomas.
Aaron
Oh,
Taylor Johnson.
Got whiter.
This dude,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's
Yeah.
from yeah, I've seen him a couple of
He
years.
looks
Jolly
like
Old
he-
England.
He looks like he eats saltines with no peanut butter.
That's like rubbish. That is rubbish.
You just went Scottish and British at the same time. I'm pretty sure that'll get you in a fight somewhere.
Dude, he was
I
in a
mean,
movie.
at one point. Weren't they tied together at one point before the war? And then,
I mean, tied together like against their will. I'm pretty sure. I don't think the Scottish or the Irish have any like good feelings towards the British.
No,
oh no, they. No,
there
they-
aren't many people who do.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go around the world, be like, that's pretty. I'll take it.
Do you have a flag?
That's pretty.
Yeah.
You know what?
Like-
You have spices? I'll take it.
Yeah.
Gold? I'll take it.
Yeah, he was in the movie Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging. You don't get whiter than that.
The term snogging really bugs me.
Snogging. I want to go snogging.
Say what you mean. Oh, casting the new James Bond. You got to do that. That's been going on for years. I get it.
Now, do you believe the theory that James Bond's a code name that they just give to
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Insert dude here. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. You ever see that video with the interview with Sean Connery about slapping women?
No.
I think I heard about it.
Are you serious?
I
Barbara
have-
Walter, type in Barbara Walter Sean Connery. It'll be the first video that pops up. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I mean, it just shows you like where we are 40 years from that point. You're like, wow, okay. Interesting, Sean. Way to live your life.
Sean Connery's views on women, relationship, and masculinity.
There you go.
Yep.
I saw this video. My mouth was open the whole time. Like, what? You would get beat in 2024. Beat in a public square. Flogged is the.
Does the friendship mean a lot? Friendship with men?
Oh yeah, I like that. I think that's one of the pleasures of golf as well. I'm not mad. I don't like playing golf with women, no matter how good they are. I really don't.
Your wife plays golf.
She's a very good golfer, yeah.
You
But
don't
I
like to play with
very
her?
often with her, no.
Why not?
Because I don't like playing golf with women.
Why not?
I like the company of men better at golf.
Why?
It's very difficult to explain. It's just it's more pleasurable playing golf with men than women.
Years ago, you did an interview, which may come back to haunt you. Whatever, you know what I'm going to say, right?
No?
Okay. You did an interview in which you said, not the worst thing to slap a woman now and then. As I remember, you said you don't do it with a clenched fist. It's better to do it with an open hand. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I didn't love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
You haven't?
No, not at all.
You think it's good to slap a woman?
No, I don't think it's good. I
don't think it's bad?
I don't think it's that bad. I think that it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it. Yeah.
Or what would merit it?
Well, if you have tried everything else, and women are pretty good at this, they can't leave it alone. They don't want to have the last word, and you give them the last word, but they're not happy with the last word. They want to say it again, and get into a really provocative situation. Then I think it's absolutely right.
To give her a good slap.
Yeah, absolutely.
What if she gives you a good slap back?
Well, then you get into another area. I mean, then maybe she's getting to like it, and then it becomes something else. I don't know. But no, seriously, I think that it's the last resort. He's not going to do it because he wants to do it. Huh?
Wait till people see this interview. Are you going to get mail?
Might get some female. Well,
Do you ever slap your wife?
no,
No, she doesn't provoke it.
no.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, she takes me to the wire. She's very, she's very much got her own views and opinion and everything, and she's French, and they're quite pragmatic, and but no, I mean, she's tiny anyway, and but I have a very violent.
Ladies and gentlemen, James Bond.
Damn, Gina.
Oh, you get into a whole nother area there. Maybe she's beginning to like it. No, Sean, I don't think that's what that means. Oh boy. When I saw that, I was just like, oh man. How did he survive that? And it's like, oh, because that was in 1987.
That was in 87.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It was 10 years after women got the ability to have a credit card on their own.
It was open-handed. It was safe. It's fine as long as it's open-handed, I guess.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
If someone like Russell Brand, Tom Hanks said that today, they would legit be canceled.
They would be burning copies of their DVDs in public squares.
Forrest Gump in flames.
That is nuts.
And sadly, that was not that long ago.
I mean, that's what we want to say because we were 6 when that happened. But yeah, it's a while ago, 33 years. But yeah, no, I when I saw the interview, I was stunned. I couldn't believe that viewpoint, and much less on a nationally televised interview.
And just so nonchalantly, just yep, this is the way it is.
Sometimes you gotta smack her. She keeps provoking it. She asks for it. Like, so you let them have the last word, and they keep going. It's like, oh, Sean, go play golf. That's what you do. Then you leave the house and go play golf. If she won't let it go play golf.
Yeah.
There weren't even cell phones back then. She would have to find you. Just go play golf.
Just leave.
I'm a smacker. How would that work in your house, Adam?
You were talking about me sleeping on the couch? The couch would be outside on fire.
Yeah. After you fell asleep. Goodness.
So, on those happy comments, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Sandlot Sports.
Peace.